statistics show heart patients in PNG are getting younger. 1 in 10 deaths in PNG is cancer-related. And Police Commissioner confirms the termination of senior officers.
This is National EMTV News with Tokana Hasavi.
A very good evening to you and thanks for joining me with Tuesday's news. Well, PNG's heart patients are younger compared to other countries, according to the Pacific International Hospital, which has PNG's only cardiac operation theatre. So far, most of the patients that have undergone heart surgeries there have been less than 50 years old. This was revealed today at the Pacific International Hospital while commemorating World Heart Day.
Heart diseases are a part of the increasing number of lifestyle diseases in PNG. While it was traditionally associated with people over the age of 50, in PNG, one hospital is seeing patients who are much younger.
There are multiple risk factors. Number one is most of people here, they are smokers. Smoking is an independent risk factor itself and a very high risk factor.
37-year-old Clive Pole is one such patient who recently underwent a bypass surgery at the Pacific International Hospital after a heart attack. It was found that one of his arteries was completely blocked, while another was 97% blocked.
We had to walk about go on top of the mountain. Big mountain, but a short distance number they might walk about. Maybe got chest pain. Me walk so twin, close to.
A lifestyle that has a high risk of developing heart diseases is one where there is a lot of smoking, even secondhand smoking, where the diet is high in cholesterol, salt and sugar, and one that has very little exercise.
Collectively, they put you in a very, very high risk subgroup, and that's why we see in a much younger age here.
Early this year, the Pacific International Hospital opened the only cardiac operation theatre and cath lab to treat heart patients in the country. In Clive's case, it cost him 70,000 kina for treatment that involved diagnosis and surgery. For Clive, this was an option he is glad he had.
Obvious reason it was expenses, but big reason it was most important one was family to establish and not something. Suppose anything after the development, after surgery, we find him some difficulty. Hard to me come back now. And another expenses now, long way up to months. So, lawyer, me, some doctor, establish, surgeon establish, so begin come see now. Catch up on the mem na kind of sense, so big reason let me start back now.
Clive works with PNG Ports Corporation and is grateful that his employer provides medical cover that assisted with his medical bills.
Just do a normal clinic heart check. So from there, we can checking whether you got this like and see or kind of.
According to the World Health Organization, today is World Heart Day and the focus is on creating heart-healthy environments. To commemorate this day, PIH is offering a healthy heart check for 100 kina only from September 29th to October 15th. Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
Well, the rate of deaths associated with cancer is increasing in the country. The Cancer Foundation of Papua New Guinea says about 1 in 10 deaths is cancer-related, and that is only limited to those who have died in a health facility.
The PNG Institute of Medical Research estimates that 1 in 10 deaths in PNG are cancer-related. Specifically, an estimated 2 women died every day from cervical cancer. And the World Health Organization reports for 2008 say PNG leads the world with the highest number of incidence rate for mouth cancer. Excessive chewing of betel nut is said to be the main contributing factor for mouth cancer. Smoking and alcohol consumption are also factors that contribute to the development of cancer. These figures are increasing, although the disease is preventable if diagnosed at an early stage. The month of October is dedicated for Women's Cancer Awareness. PNG Cancer Foundation Chief Executive Officer Daddy Toka Jr. says to educate and raise awareness about women's cancer, the organization will host the Pink Ribbon Brunch on the 20th of October next month to raise funds for the awareness.
Again, and we invite all our valuable supporters to join us to raise as much money as possible.
For 10 years now, the Pacific MMI Insurance Limited has been a major partner, contributing to raise funds for the cancer awareness.
We would hope that everyone gets behind it. Breast cancer, as the Cancer Foundation is pushing on Pink Ribbon Day, is basically something that will affect all of us.
Quinten Alomp, National EMTV News.
Well, scientists from the National Agriculture Research Institute say timely drought research hadn't reached the bulk of the population before the El Niño struck 2 months ago. Their comments come after NARI's capabilities in agriculture research and food security received widespread criticism from the public. NARI says the public could have been better informed if the government had given more attention to the predicted El Niño provided by them 2 years ago. EMTV's Edwin Fidelis reports from Kokopo.
This is one of several demonstration plots of sweet potato at the Nari Agriculture Research Station at Keravat in East Nubitan Province. It is part of the drought response program by Nari that began 2 years ago to trial out soil moisture and study plant growth under drought conditions, and it has turned out to be a success. The prediction of El Niño 2 years ago has prompted NARI to establish groundbreaking research on drought crop cultivation, but their research findings carried out over the years have not been implemented timely due to financial constraints, and to a larger extent, their findings on crop cultivation and drought awareness to farmers have turned out to be a futile attempt.
If we have not gone into, people have not been exposed to such coping strategy, then obviously they will depend on government for more relief supplies.
A widespread public criticism has been leveled against NARI for not providing adequate information to the public on drought coping strategies. But NARI's drought experts say PNG could have been better informed and ready for the drought if its forecasts were taken seriously. NARI meanwhile continued to work with its development partners such as schools and other various departments and church groups to carry out drought awareness and planting materials to the bulk of the subsistence population.
NARI originally planned to have about 64 or so centers throughout the country, but because it doesn't have the capacity to do that, it basically partners with any interested stakeholders that who are willing to take ownership of this and run it as their own. Then our job is to impart the skills and know-how.
Edwin Fidelis, National EMTV News, Kokopo.
Police Commissioner Gary Bucky today confirmed the termination of 2 senior detectives. The police officers at the forefront of the investigations against the Prime Minister have been removed from the force. Chief Inspector Timothy Kitua and Assistant Commissioner Thomas Elu were members of the fraud squad before being suspended. Investigation Task Force Sweep Team Chairman Sam Coim condemned their terminations. Commissioner Bucky said their termination followed proper processes.
Police Commissioner Gary Bucky today confirmed that Chief Inspector Timothy Gitua was served his termination notice yesterday, while Thomas Elu received his last week. Both officers believe their dismissal did not follow proper processes. However, Commissioner Bucky said both were terminated on disciplinary grounds with no political ties.
Have been conducted into board, the conduct of this board of these officers. An internal disciplinary process has taken its course. They've been dealt with.
Investigation Task Force Sweep Chairman Sam Coim, in a news conference yesterday, said this will frustrate current court cases, not only Paraka and Prime Minister's case, but other cases which verdicts are expected to be made soon.
The manner in which these things are happening, it's not isolated. We do not dispute the power of the police commissioner to take disciplinary actions, but the circumstances and the timing under which these decisions are made are highly suspicious and questionable.
Coim said this decision was made 7 working days after 2 Australian lawyers acting for them were banned by immigration. An official statement from Chief Migration Officer stated that both have been in breach of immigration law on repeated occasions as they have been entering the country unlawfully on incorrect visas. He said they have been entering the country on business visas but have in fact been engaged in employment.
That we have been fighting now in court, and the courts have basically are listing those matters. We are hoping to have an expedited hearing, but as we get closer, the heat is being turned on.
The dismissed officers will be seeking legal advice, but still believe their termination is linked with the current court battles.
We represent the people of Papua New Guinea, and we represent the face of the law. And their actions will not deter us for one moment. We will continue to fight.
While Helu's termination is in relation to the current restructure, Gitua was terminated on an isolated matter, one that's before the district court. Commissioner Baki said the public should not have any perception that these terminations have anything to do with the current investigations.
We want to think that it's politically motivated. The internal disciplinary process for the RPNGC is a requirement that we must conform with. These two incidents are not related to the investigations what people may have perceived.
Michelle Amba, National EMTV News.
The delay in issuing a dependent visa to a wife of a Lutheran missionary in Enga province has upset Enga Governor Sir Peter Ipatas. Governor Ipatas says the Foreign Affairs Department has not acted according to their promise to allow the return of the missionary's wife. The governor has sought help from Prime Minister Peter O'Neill for the second time.
The Enga governor said it insults him to see dedicated people being prohibited from entering the country. Sir Peter Ipatas expressed concerns that the Foreign Affairs Department must comply with standards when issuing of visas.
The process of getting visas is difficult, and so the very people that are supposed to help us won't come. We can't continue to stop missionaries and people who either have devoted their life to this country or people who want to actually give to this country to come into this country.
The Enga governor said the country is flooding with people who do not even speak English and nothing much is done by immigration officials. He said if the Foreign Affairs Minister Remik Pato is not addressing the matter, he will take legal steps.
People live and work and walk the land with the small people of my province. And so for them to suffer for all here, I think somebody has to answer, and I will take it up to the Ombudsman.
In the meantime, President of PNG Law Society, Peter Kuman, is shocked to hear the travel ban issued by Chief Migration Officer Matayo Rabura to its two lawyers. In a statement released to MTV, Mr. Kuman said both lawyers Greg Egan and Terence Lambert hold current practicing certificates and are entitled to practice law in PNG. President Kuman says it matters a lot to the PNG Law Society and might be viewed as an attempt to prevent the course of justice, as the two lawyers are involved in ongoing court proceedings in relation to the issue of a warrant of arrest for Prime Minister Peter O'Neill. Jack Lapave Jr., National MTV News.
And in more news to come, crisis hotline register calls in the first month. Also, Middle Ramu roads upgraded and Number One Super launches a new smartphone app. Stay with us for those stories and more. Thanks for your company and welcome back to National MTV News. A man has been arrested by police in East New Britain for committing incest with his 19-year-old daughter. The incident happened in July this year, but was not reported to police until last week. The man's daughter reported the offence to police after learning that she fell pregnant to her own biological father. The man from Napapar, number 5 in the Gazelle district, has been arrested, charged, and he awaits his court appearance. Police prosecutors say they will apply for the matter to be brought to the National Court as incest cases have been ongoing in the province. The East New Britain Police boss, Superintendent Anthony Wagambi Jr., says many incest cases go unreported as they are solved out of the courts through compensation payments. Superintendent Wagambi Jr. called on community members at large to report incest cases as it is a criminal offence. Well, family and sexual violence are widespread challenges faced by communities across Papua New Guinea. Now, there is a new national toll-free hotline which links victims and perpetrators of violence to much-needed counselling and support services. And surprisingly, 50% of calls made to the One Talk Counselling Helpline line in the first month were from men.
For victims of domestic and sexual violence, accessing relevant support services can often be a major challenge. Now, such information may just be a phone call away. The One Talk Counselling Helpline line has been operating for a little over a month, with 9 specially trained counsellors taking calls from all over the country. Counsellors received enquiries from 21 out of 22 provinces, with NCD, Medang, and East New Britain making up the highest volume of callers.
Almost every day we are receiving calls. So far, within the first month, we received 250 calls, 50-50 split, males and females. So we've been receiving calls, and we would really appreciate if more can call. Most men call, they provide issues based on the marriage problems, relationship issues, and on sexual health.
And those hoping to change violent behavior as well. The service, which is supported by Child Fund, CIMC, and FH360, is free of charge and allows callers to remain completely anonymous.
The confidentiality of our clients is of paramount importance, and we are very careful with dealing with our clients because if it's all in the best interest, if they don't want the information to be out, we keep it confidential in here. So whatever information they receive in this center, it's always in here and we don't take it out.
The hotline is receiving a steady stream of inquiries, but employees here are hopeful the volume of calls will grow as awareness of the service increases.
If you have experienced a recent incident, you can always call this hotline service, and our number is 7150-8000, and we can always assist you, provide you options, and do referral. And we can refer you to police, counseling services, safe houses, family support center, medical and welfare.
The One Talk Counselling Helpline line can be contacted free of charge between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, with a 7-day service commencing in October. Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
Road links in the Middle Ramu district are being given a much-needed facelift. So far, contractors have been working on the 30-kilometre Anaritz to Andiku roads and the 12-kilometre Passing Cup Road. The roads are funded through the District Support Improvement Program, or DSIP funds.
The Medang Simbai Road was declared a national highway in 1984. However, progress on its development has taken too long until just recently. This missing link is poised to become an economic corridor for the Middle Ramu district. Middle Ramu MP and Minister for Agriculture and Livestock Tommy Tomskol told the people to be appreciative of the services being offered.
Prime Minister Igolong India last month. Now, Emi asked him government belong India fund him this road project belong Yumi Igol Getalo Simbai. Today, Yumi wait. Long government belong India long give him talk sawe he come back long this ask him Prime Minister belong Papua New Guinea he go give him. Suppose government blow India, it talk okay, also all by fund him, and by me look him, also road, only by build him, and by got colta too, and by highway through, and by Kamna go.
He says once the road is complete, all public servants will be told to return to the district at Ayom to work. Tom Scholes says there are plans to overhaul services in the district, but they are still waiting for the government to release its outstanding DSIP funds.
You like him all public servant, he must stop. Lo district blow you na serve him. That's all public servant. Emi no like stop because no got road. Public servant, no like stop because no got light, no got power. Public servant, like him, also more picking any blong he must sit down good. Inside long middle ramu, time you may complete him this la road, you may upgrade him this la road. But me ask him all get the public servant blow me come back now operate Long Ayong district.
4 new trucks were also presented to the people to assist them with their economic activities. Mickey Cavera, National EMTV News.
Well, Number One Super today launched a new smartphone app. The service will allow its members to access their statements and account details anytime, anywhere, and on any Android and Apple device. The smartphone app is the Super Fund's latest addition to the activities it has embarked on to improve member services.
Businesses in PNG are adapting to the changing culture of the use of technology. The country's largest super fund, Number One Super, is no exception. Taking advantage of the wide use of mobile phones, especially smartphones, the new app service will allow members to see their transaction history of contributions being credited to their accounts. Number One Super Chief Manager Member Services Charlie Gilichibi explained that activation on the app is simple and secure with a PIN number to safeguard privacy and account security. Number One Super Chief Executive Officer Gary Tunstall said that the new app is unique to superannuation funds.
The application provides access to all members throughout the country where they can access smartphone and use their smartphones to obtain their balances, to obtain their statements and to obtain online information.
It took 12 months to develop the app that will prove efficient and cost-cutting for members in remote areas who usually face challenges when trying to reach Number One Super's physical points of presence. Adam Fenech, General Manager of Kina Wealth Management, the fund administrator, said Number One Super has moved into the forefront of using technology.
This is world leading. There's very few super funds in the world that actually have mobile devices. So the fact that an organisation in PNG is at the forefront of using technology to help members, I think is a fantastic achievement.
The smartphone app is now available on Google Play and Apple's iTunes Store for downloads. Mr. Tunstall said Number One Super is currently in negotiations for its members to be able to have smartphones at an affordable price. Deli Waigeno, National EMTV News.
And now let's check out the finance news. The Kina closed unchanged at $0.3485 in the interbank market today. And at Bank South Pacific, our Kina was trading at $0.3410 $0.4848 Australian dollars, 0.3002 euro and 40.54 Japanese yen. Taking a look at commodity prices at New York, gold and copper closed the day higher, while coffee and cocoa closed lower. Palm oil, crude oil and copper all closed the day lower. And lastly, on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 312 points lower, the ASX closed at 17 points higher, and the 71 points higher rather, and the All Ordinaries closed at 68 points higher as well. Well, ahead on National EMTV News tonight, Governor Carville presents submission for Gulf LNG. Also, Governor Naru supports alluvial mining and a push to implement policy on mangroves. Stay tuned for those stories. Good to have you back with the news. A submission by the people of the Gulf Province was handed over to the Minister for Petroleum and Energy, Nixon Duban, today, outlining their position regarding major gas projects in their province. The Gulf provincial and local level government, together with a special technical team, finalised the comprehensive position paper on development concepts of the Elk Antelope gas fields, the Papua LNG project and Papua Gas Hub concept. In a media conference, Gulf Governor Havila Kavo called on the government and the project developers to pay attention to the submission, which outlines how Gulf people want to see the potential gas hub developed and managed for the best returns to the people and the country.
We want to make sure a policy guideline that needs to be put in place that gas can be conserved and sold at a price that is reasonable, at the same time giving the best returns back to the people and the country as a whole.
Support for alluvial mining in Papua New Guinea must be increased to ensure that Papua New Guineans within this sector benefit more. Morobe Governor Kelly Naru made these comments when addressing the second PNG Alluvial Mining Convention and Trade Show.
Small-scale mining in Papua New Guinea continues to contribute significantly to the overall economy of the country. In 2014 alone, the alluvial sector produced 119,000 ounces of gold, generating 373 million kina in export revenue. These figures presented at the opening of the PNG Alluvial Mining Convention and Trade Show today highlight the important role of the industry in providing much-needed revenue for Papua New Guineans, mostly in rural areas.
The government now putting law also the alluvial gold mining business. Now, by Yumiet long place by Yumimas, Papa Mama long emna. Yumiet by go pass long operating. Man long outside no now coming side. Or man on other country by no coming side. So this is now government giving you one good chance now.
With the theme Panning for Alluvial Prosperity, this convention aims to educate participants on how to improve industry practices, which in turn can lead to greater production.
Used wisely, this development will give rise to additional income sources and educational and social opportunities not otherwise available. However, change takes time and requires a willingness to embrace that change from all stakeholders. We hope you will take this journey with us because positive change will only come if we work together.
The Alluvial Mining Convention and Trade Show will also include a field trip later this week to Wau, which is regarded as the birthplace of small-scale mining in Papua New Guinea. Merabatulo, National EMTV News, Leh.
Papua New Guinea needs to have in place a national mangrove policy. The need was expressed among agencies today at a forum held in Port Moresby to strategize and formulate a way forward to save depleting mangrove vegetation in coastal communities. EMTV's Jack Lepavit Jr. with this report.
Good morning. Discussions this morning saw how different agencies are working to address and share ideas how to save PNG's decreasing mangrove forest. Questions were also raised to put in place a legal framework so legislation can be upheld since the government is not seriously making its stand to save mangrove communities. There's been a series of awareness and different methods of best practices to conserve mangrove, but putting a legal framework to the effort has been lacking. Only 3 coastal provinces in PNG are making efforts to conserve mangrove from logging activities. That is New Ireland, Western and Manus Province.
Mangrove policy lo Manus lo province no dislatu is strong province lo kat big plating tingos mangrove emi big pla role na important to lo online lo place na provincial government is na behind lo disla.
The mangrove policy will provide the management and development of a framework which will balance the use of mangrove in communities. And with the world talking on climate change, no government agency in PNG has a clear-cut responsibility for the management and protection of mangrove habitat. The call is now for better collaboration among agencies like CEPA, OCCD, NFA and PNG-FA.
Work together. Let's work together in terms of policy development to fight or to achieve and accomplish what we're all here for.
The one-day forum ended this afternoon with key recommendations put forward to formulate the first national mangrove policy. Jack Lepavit Jr., National EMTV News.
Winga Village in Yanguru South Sia is the first village in West Yanguru to have full access to electricity. part of the national government's investment into the SIPIC economic zone. PNG Power will be tasked to connect all LLGs in Yanguru South Sia before the start of the major agriculture project in the SIPIC Plains. The project was launched by PNG Power Executive Director John Mangos and local MP Richard Murray yesterday in West Yanguru.
The member for Yanguru South Sia and Trade, Commerce and Industry Minister Richard Maru led the PNG Power delegation into Winge yesterday. They were there to launch a major electrification project that will support the national government's 50 million kina investment of the SIPIC Plains agriculture project. While major works on the SIPIC Plains oil palm and agriculture project has not begun, Mr. Maru explained how electricity will play a vital role in building the project.
We have investors coming into the district, also by needing power, so the power program will continue. We want to now start preparing the lines because we are bringing plenty of private sector investors will come inside Loya too.
The Yanguru South Sia district has power lines that run from Wewak to West Yanguru. However, villages that are not next to the highway do not have access to electricity. And Winge is the first to pilot this project that will spread to all corners of the district.
And this is not the end of the power program for Yanguru South Sia district. We will continue next year also.
The minister also has plans to establish a power station in the center of Yanguru. This will allow for a more reliable power supply for Yanguru South Sia.
This is where the biggest growth in terms of power use of power is going to be in the Yanguru South Sia district.
PNG Power Executive Director John Mangos said PNG Power is committed to deliver major rural electrification projects throughout the country. Mangos said while PNG Power has been heavily criticized for not providing the best service to its customers, the company will concentrate to improve its services and provide a reliable power supply for Papua New Guineans.
What are we going to focus on? We're going to focus on connecting customers. We're going to focus on making sure power is reliable. That's the two things you'll see us doing. Internally, we'll resolve all our own issues, whether that's resourcing, vehicles, stores. That's our problem. That's not a problem we should make publicly available. That's the stuff we're there for. That's what we will resolve internally. What you will see from PNG Power, you probably won't see much at all actually, because once the power is reliable, you'll probably forget about who we are.
Mango switched on the electricity in Winge for the first time since independence, but Maru challenged the villagers to take ownership and use the service provided to improve their standard of living.
Power supply come, come look stop nothing. And become low empower you plan to work in business.
Stanley Over Jr., National EMTV News.
Well, National EMTV News continues with Trukai Sports. That's coming up next, and we'll have soccer news, both international and local, coming up after the break. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. In football, the 5 Oceania nations competing at next month's OFC Under-20 Women's Championship have announced the squads. This is in preparation for the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in PNG next year, and there is no shortage of young talent in the respective lineups. The Oceania qualifiers will be staged from the 1st to the 10th of October in Nuku'alofa, Tonga. MTV's Jeremy Mogi reports.
Getting ready to fight it out for that sole spot are the finest young players on offer from New Caledonia, New Zealand, Samoa, Tonga and Vanuatu. With women's football development on the rise across the Pacific, this edition of the tournament is likely to be one of the most competitive yet. Youth development has come under the spotlight across the Oceania region in recent years, with development centers and centers of excellence being installed across OFC's 11 member associations and playing a strong supporting role to the handful of youth academies that have been established. The pathways in place have already produced many players, and some of these will be in action for their countries in Tonga, meaning the Kiwis face a far from straightforward task in earning their 5th title in a row. A large portion of the squad also have FIFA tournament experience, which should lend well to their chase for more regional glory in Tonga. Tonga have a strong women's development program, and recent results on the regional stage are evidence that they are starting to make inroads. Captain Vea Funake has returned to the fold, along with Ofoloto Laakulu, both of whom have been outstanding rearguards for the senior side in recent times. All up, coach Penateti Feke has included 9 members of the Pacific Games squad, giving an element of experience to the side that should come in handy. First-time coach Leti Tamasese has named a relatively untested side for this competition, with just 1 member of the squad having turned out at regional level previously. Lagemaina Akari was in Papua New Guinea for the 15 Pacific Games, which means her teammates will likely look to her for advice and leadership. The side has a majority of domestically developed members, but a number of New Zealand and Australian-based players have also been included. New Caledonia were just shy of breaking past Papua New Guinea in the race for the gold medal. With this competition, their next opportunity to make up for that final defeat, the 5 players from the senior squad coming to Tonga, will be out to prove themselves. The FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup is scheduled to take part in Papua New Guinea in 2016. Jeremy Moggy, National, EMTV Sports.
Still in football, the Oceania Football Confederation and New Zealand Football are set to move forward together. This follows a constructive meeting between OFC President David Chung and New Zealand Football President Derek Shaw after the suspension of a New Zealand player during the Pacific Games.
The Caribbean to join our Pacific brothers from Fiji and Vanuatu.
Chung says the discussions were timely and proved extremely productive, stating that he believes each member association has an important role to play in the development of football throughout the Pacific region. New Zealand football plays a full and active role in the Confederation, and over the years has been the strongest of any of the Oceania region, making it as far as the World Cup on 3 occasions. Shaw says New Zealand football intends to thoroughly review recent events and ensure that everyone is clear on its position in the future. He continued by saying the organization is committed to working closely with OFC and its member associations to achieve a common vision for the success of football. In addition, Chung says that with the 2 organizations more in tune than ever before, it is an opportune moment to shine the spotlight back on football. Jeremy Moggy, National, EMTV Sports.
In local soccer news, Madang has claimed the Mamasa Regional Youth Tournament after defeating Morabez LFA. It was a strong and close encounter, with Madang claiming the cup 1-0. MTV's Fabian Akalitz reports.
Mamasa Regional Youth Tournament Match Commissioner Bob Morris congratulated Madang Soccer Association's under-18 team for the reign after defeating Morabez Lay Football Association 1-0 in a head-to-head match. The tournament attracted 18 teams from the Mamasa region competing in under 15, 18 and 20. Final positions under 15 Madang's Code of Excellence, Madang Ramu, while in the under 20 LFA, Madang, Wiwek and Wow.
We have this Center of Excellence in Madang, so we have the under 18 and 15. And we had 2 from the districts, one from Walium and the other one from Ramu Sugar.
In the meantime, Morris told MTV Sports focus of the tournament was on under 15 and 18. The turnout of under 15 teams of only 3 was unsatisfactory.
So the main focus really, PNGFA was focusing on the under 18 and 15, not the under 20, but because of communication problem, or maybe the information didn't get through to the MA's president, so they sent the under 20 here.
An appeal to all football associations around the country is to develop effective communication with the Federation on the requirements to ensure that a competent team represents Papua New Guinea in future games. Fabian Hakalitz, National MTV Sports.
Well, True Kai Sports continues after this break. Stay with us.
True Kai Sports.
Good to have you back with Trukai Sports. The Papua New Guinea cricket team has been working with a psychologist to help improve their mindsets in the international arena. The Barramundis missed out on a spot at next year's World 2020 tournament after losing their winner-takes-all qualifying match to Afghanistan in July.
The same thing happened 2 years ago when they were beaten by Hong Kong. In an interview with New Zealand Radio Sports Journal, Vinnie Wiley, head coach Deepak Patel said they have spent a lot of time dissecting what went wrong and how to fix it. He said a majority of it is reflecting and doing debriefs and reviews and trying to find reasons why they keep falling short. Patel thinks he's getting close to understanding how the top teams play, mentally and physically, and cope with the demands of international cricket. He further stated that the team has given extra effort in the team-building sessions, a psychology approach, and have taken different possibilities to try and get the team to understand the demands of the schedules that they are going to be exposed to over the next few years. Patel believes that's the hardest challenge for the players have found is the day-to-day training and obviously fronting up to play in the games and backing up and being more consistent. He said the goal of the team is to be more consistent, and they have shown that in the last 2 games, using pure grit against 2 very strong teams. Shane, Saroya National, EMTV Sports.
And in rugby league, while Cowboys star halfback Jonathan Thurston picked up his 4th Dally M award overnight, Papua New Guinean-born Jenny Sue Halper was awarded the Female Player of the Year. The award is the first for females. The Cairns-based lass was selected into the Australian Rugby League women's team to play centre against trans-rival New Zealand earlier this month. Jenny's recent trip to Port Moresby was to encourage girls and women in rugby league. She also works as a development officer for the North Queensland NRL. Well, Trukai Sports wraps up on that note. The weather details when we come back. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
Taking a quick look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in southern region, Port Moresby, fine weather, as well as Alatown. In the Momasa region, showers plus cloudy weather expected in Lae City, fine weather in Wewak and Bunnymoor. In the New Guinea Islands, Lorengau, Kavieng, Kimbe and Buka, fine weather, although cloudy in Kokopo and Rabaul. And lastly, in the Highlands region, all centres to look forward to cloudy weather plus showers, except Hagen, cloudy weather. Well, that's the way it is this Tuesday, the 29th of September 2015. From the news crew, I'm Tokana Hasavi Jr. Thanks for your company. You take care and stay happy. Good night.